I found out that my husband has keeping a secret box of mementos on the top shelf of our closet, and I don't know what to do about it or if I should even bring it up. I, 26 female, honestly don't know how the hell I'm supposed to even talk about this. I am in disbelief. So, backstory. My husband, 27 male, we're going to call him Lee. We have been together since our sophomore year in high school. We were each other's first everythings, and for the most part, I feel like we have that picturesque marriage. I am currently 5 months pregnant with our first child, and have taken it upon myself to DIY our guest bedroom into a nursery. But to do that, I wanted to sort through the stuff in there and get rid of anything unnecessary. I think it's relevant to say that I'm pretty short, like 5'2", so I don't really store things up high since I can't reach them. But my husband's a foot taller than me, so he doesn't have the same tendency. Which is how I found out about this memento box on the top shelf. It was just a plain cardboard box, so I didn't think much of it at first. But since I didn't remember putting it there, I just wanted to see if it was something that needed to go into storage or if it was junk. I don't know what I was expecting, but inside the box there was a photo album, a trash bag, a black leather bag, and an album that just had my name plus Lee's written on the cover. So I thought it'd be something sweet, because Lee has a tendency to gift me sentimental things. But no. The album was full of nude pictures of myself. All of them marked with dates and short journal entries.
Oh my god.
The first one was from our first time when we were teens. And the latest one was from the night I surprised him with my pregnancy announcement. Most of the pictures are poor quality, but some are clearly of me sleeping after the deed. These journal entries talk about how he ranks each experience and his favorite part of it, like some weird logbook. Inside the bags were some of my lingerie and even some old razors and hairbrushes. I don't even know why on earth he keeps them, but he has 2 bags full. I don't know how or what to do. I mean, is this normal behavior? No. Is this some twisted form of romance on his part? A part of me feels like I shouldn't be disgusted as I am, but this violates my own boundaries since I explicitly told him that in the past I was against sending or giving him any nudes. Reddit, what do I do? I love my husband, but I'm not sure how to confront him about this.
Chloe, what do you think?
Is it some like weird fetish?
I don't know, but I think you should definitely confront your husband about this, because I think this is like a little bit psychotic behavior. Like, this is obsession level.
No, for
like
sure.
This is
Okay. I'll get into update for you guys.
Yes, please.
Yes, I would love an update.
Okay, before I get into the update, I do have to say that the update is tagged 5 months later.
Oh my god.
No way.
She did not confront him.
No.
Update. So I'm not sure if anybody cares, and while I didn't reply to any of the comments, I did end up talking with my husband about this a few days ago. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to just act like I didn't see anything and go on with my happy life. But after giving birth to my baby girl about a month and a half ago, I guess the stress and everything added up and I let it slip in an argument. I don't remember all that was said, but I was exhausted, and my husband, while he has been super helpful and taking over the household chores for me, and he helps out with baby girl, has just been getting on my nerves. I sort of exploded on him in a way that I'm not proud of. Worst of all, he wasn't even doing anything. All he had been doing was reminiscing about how I used to make sim families of us when I was in university, and how creepy it was. But he said it endearingly. I don't really know why I got so mad, but I basically said something along the lines of how he's the creepy one because he has a secret stash of stuff hidden from me.
I was just gonna say.
Bomb.
I felt really bad because he got all pale and went quiet. And then he sort of said that he needed space. And he went to blow off some steam at the shooting range, which he does a lot when he needs to think about stuff, so I didn't question it. He came back home around dinner and said he was ready to talk. I asked him about all the things I found, especially the photos. I reminded him again that I never agreed to making nudes of any sort, and he apologized and agreed to burn them. But it comes out that our history goes back further than I even knew, as he recounted that we actually met before high school. I had no
told you.
idea about this, but his mom, who is a divorce attorney, was the very same one that my mom used when she separated from her first husband, who is not my dad. I called my mom after to confirm, and she told me it was true, but her and my mother-in-law never told me because my mom's divorce was messy and she hates talking about it. Anyways, back to the first meeting thing. My mother-in-law, at the time, often had Lee hang out around her office after school. And it was during one of those days that my mom had taken me in to speak with my mother-in-law in person over the divorce. Lee was actually the boy that I played with in the waiting room. I can't believe he even remembered that because I totally forgot about it. So, according to him, that first meeting was the day that he knew I was special.
No.
Lee told me that while he had tried to pass it off as a crush, as he got older, it never really went away, which led him to look into his mom's case files.
Invasion of privacy.
And he found my mom on Facebook, then my dad in her friends list, and then managed to find my first and last name in order to look me up on Instagram. He then convinced his parents to let him transfer from his private school to my public high school under the excuse that they had a better athletics program.
I'm losing my shit over here, guys.
My brain's melting.
I thought that us meeting was a sheer coincidence and that we fell in love naturally. A classic sort of high school sweethearts. But no, Lee had orchestrated it all. I took my daughter with me to stay with my mom and stepdad, while Lee agreed to stay home and let me think. I spoke to my mom as well as my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Lee's parents are not happy with him in all honesty, and mother-in-law is especially mad because of client confidentiality. My mom gave me some good advice, that being that I should reflect on it if Lee had displayed any other red flag behaviors. I can honestly say no, he hadn't, but since I know I'm biased, I asked my friends and those close to me if they noticed anything. So far, everything else with Lee seems to check out. I never felt endangered by him, even when I told him I needed some distance for a few days. I want to make this work for our marriage, Reddit, but is this something that therapy can fix?
No. No, it has to. Sorry. In my opinion, this needs to be done. That guy's a fucking creep, and I called it. From the
You did. You did. But question, wouldn't you maybe perhaps feel flattered that he went
not at all.
so hard
Absolutely
to
not.
get your attention?
No.
This is not a rom-com, okay? This is real life.
You were so beautiful that he just had to track you down.
No. Since like elementary school, since like middle school?
High school.
High school.
I guess, yeah, high school.
No.
No?
No.
No, not at all. Like, not even a
flattered?
little bit.
No.
Because it's always like how far do you go to get the woman of your dreams? How far do you go to get the man of your dreams? Do you go to the gym at the same time every single day hoping that that person will be there again?
No.
Kind of gym stalking them?
I don't even go to the gym.
I got another update for you guys.
Oh, okay. Let us know.
3 months later, after the second post.
Okay.
Okay, so 8 months in total.
Yeah, we went 8 months from the original time, so 3 months later. Lee and I have since been going to couples counseling, and he's going to individual therapy. After the whole drama that happened a few months ago, he sort of had a come to Christ moment where he realized that he had been obsessing over the idea of me.
Teresa called it.
Wasn't the same as a healthy love. We spent a few weeks apart so he could work on himself, and he turned over his device passwords and accounts to me so I could go through and calm my worries because I was really anxious about the explicit photos. Since then, though, we're back in the house with our baby girl, and our marriage is back on track and better for it.
I don't like that update.
So I think that maybe she found it endearing. Maybe she felt that it wasn't too far, and she was flattered that he tried so hard to win her over.
All the best to her.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck.
Sorry.
Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I, 43 male, have been married to my wife, 45 female, for 15 years now. We have 3 kids, 9 female, 6 female, and 2 male. My wife and I are kinky. We are mainly into bondage and some mild impact play. This will be relevant. Since we had kids, we've had to cut back on our playtime. Maintaining a vanilla sex life is already challenging with 3 kids, let alone carving out alone time needed to safely engage in BDSM. About a month ago, we asked my sister, 48 female, to take the kids for a weekend so we can have some time alone. She agreed to pick them up from our house Friday evening and then drop them off again on Sunday night. Well, Saturday evening, while we were engaging in some bondage and impact play, my sister started blowing up my phone. By the time I was able to answer, after I had taken care of my wife's safety first, my sister is knocking our door down. We were frantic and didn't do a good enough job hiding the rope marks on my wife's wrists.
Oh.
My sister says that her daughter is in the hospital with just a sprain while playing soccer, but that she needs to go. And we didn't notice, but apparently that she had clocked my wife's bruises. The next day, she arranged some alone time with my wife and tells her that if I'm abusing her, then she will support her to report me and leave me. My wife was embarrassed, but she explained the whole thing to my sister. Then she told me what happened. I talked to my sister, and I also explained the situation, even if it was mortifying. She seemed to accept our explanation. So, fast forward 2 weeks. We get the cops and a CPS agent at our front door. Apparently, there was an anonymous complaint that I was physically abusing my wife and kids. I was treated like a criminal. The kids were questioned separately, as was my wife. I didn't even think about my sister, but my wife did. She took everyone to our bedroom, showed them our toys, and even offered to show them some homemade videos if it was going to convince them. Thankfully, they believed her and then left. My wife again called my sister, who did admit to calling the cops multiple times, and then when they did nothing, she called CPS and hoped that they would investigate. My wife again showed her our toys, went into explicit details I had never wanted anyone to know about her intimate life, and finally my sister was convinced. She said that she was sorry, but she was only doing what she thought was right. But I was deeply hurt that she thought I was capable of doing what she accused me of, and that she could have cost me my kids, my freedom, and my job. So I told her that I am not ready to forgive her. She says that I am the asshole, that it was a logical conclusion, and that I should be happy that she was willing to go so far to protect my wife and kids. So am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my sister-in-law babysit my baby and being unwilling to hear her out? My husband and I had to be somewhere for our older child, so we asked my mother-in-law if she could watch our 3-month-old for a few hours. She said of course. Unfortunately, when we dropped him off, she wasn't home, and one of my husband's sisters, Jane, 21, was instead. Apparently, my mother-in-law wasn't going to be home for a bit, so she, Jane, agreed to watch our son for some time. I immediately said no because, well, Jane believes that babies don't feel anything. She thinks that they cry for no reason and we shouldn't respond to their cries ever for whatever reason, and that not responding won't have any effect on them. She thinks that anything we do to babies during this period of their lives will have absolutely zero effect on them in the future. She will often call them mindless too. My husband calls his mom and we politely explained our concerns and then hung up because we were extremely busy already, and now we had to find another babysitter as well. I figured that was it until Jane came over extremely upset and in tears, insisting that she's not a bad person and that she would never do anything to hurt any kid. She then accused me of discriminating against her because she doesn't want to have kids like everyone else in the family. I told her straight up that I don't give a crap if she wants kids of her own, but I don't like her thought process on how to care for babies specifically. Instead of trying to understand me, she doubled down and said that her way of dealing with babies makes sense and that I'm wrong and I'm just extremely sensitive in nature, so of course I don't get it. She kept arguing with me about how to take care of my baby, so I just asked her to leave and she blew up on me. My husband even told her to calm down and that it's not like we're preventing her from seeing our kids altogether, but she just went, "Fuck you and your dumbass kids," and left, which, ... okay? But my mother-in-law is really annoyed with me because Jane is still very upset, and I'm just wondering if I'm the asshole. Like, I don't think I am specifically, since no one lets her babysit for the same reasons, but I'm the first person to actually say no to her face and tell her why instead of making up an excuse. And perhaps I was a bit too harsh.